So the most common question I've seen coming up in the comments recently has been where to buy gold from. So where do I buy my gold? And there are a few main places. So I'm going to talk about those today. Now, first of all, the rule I would say is just wherever it is, make sure whatever you're buying is genuine and you're buying what you think you are buying. So just bear that in mind, first of all, and just really think about what you're doing. If you're seeing 1 ounce supposedly gold coins coming up for sale for like £3, £10, probably not going to be genuine. So you've got a few main areas or main places you can buy from. I would say you've got the big online bullion dealers. So these are, main coin shops, main coin dealers, and they're going to vary, in different countries. So in the UK, just to reel a few off in no particular order, we've got Hatton Garden Metals, Bullion by Post, Atkinson's, Tavex, Gerrard's, and so on. There are quite a few of the sort of big online main dealers. Now, you've also got a number of other dealers, which are like smaller dealers, smaller coin shops, and then you've got perhaps non-coin specialist shops. So things like pawn shops, jewellery shops, shops selling antiques perhaps, and different shops that are not specialist coin shops. And then you've obviously got the private market. So you might have somebody that you know and somebody that you already know and trust, who you know is buying, and they might be somebody who is selling. You also have the private market of just, random strangers on the internet. So some people are happy buying on things like Facebook, although I don't personally have any Facebook. There are groups on there, I believe, where people are, getting a bit of feedback and getting a bit of a community together and buying and selling on there. So broadly, you've got your main dealers, you've got your sort of shops that are not coin dealers but do sell gold. You've got the second-hand market. So these 5 sovereigns I'm showing you today, these are best value sovereigns I bought. Just a random mix of dates and, average condition, nothing too crazy, nothing too special, just good bullion weight. And they came from a private seller, so yeah, nice enough. And it was pretty nice, that one. Nice enough, decent condition and just bullion weight for the stack. So that's nice condition, that one. So the main thing to think about is make sure you're buying genuine coins above all, but it depends which dealer is going to be the best. It's going to depend on what you are buying. It's going to depend on the stock levels, and it's going to depend on your actual goals and what you're looking for. So if you're just looking for basic bullion and you're not too worried what it is, then you might just want to find the cheapest 1 ounce gold coin. You might want to find the cheapest 1 ounce gold coin within certain parameters. So you might fancy your chances having a Britannia with the newer security features, the last few years. And if that's the case, you can shop around. There's various places to pick those up, and certain dealers might have certain promotions. The premium that dealers charge also changes, as does spot price. It depends on the quantity you're going to buy. So if you're going to buy like 3, or if you're going to buy 1, or if you're going to buy 10 of something, then the quantity breaks will be different. So just for the basic Britannia, you might find that dealer A is cheaper for those. You might see though on the second-hand market, somebody needs to sell one of these a bit closer to spot price, just to beat the dealers and to win a sale on the sort of the private market there. So if that's the case, you could come up with a good deal, and you could get a good price for something like that, just from a random stranger. Now, in terms of special coins and more fancy coins, you've also got things like coin auctions. I generally wouldn't buy bullion at auctions. The reason being, you've got seller's fees, whether the seller is paying them or the buyer is paying them, but the auction house has got to cover their fees somehow. So if you're paying as a seller to sell the coins, you obviously need a higher price to make it worthwhile. So if you were selling a 1 ounce bullion coin, you can't necessarily sell it at a 3% premium or a 2% premium, because perhaps the auction house is taking 5% off you. If the auction house is not taking anything off the seller, it's probably adding it onto the buyer. So if you're the buyer and you want to buy a 1 ounce coin, you can't just pay spot price, you've got to then pay the premium above it. So auctions possibly good for more numismatic things and things that are valued a little bit away from the spot price. So perhaps something like nice shield sovereigns or something like that. You might be able to get lucky on an auction. If you are buying certain coins, if you want to collect certain series, then you might be restricted to which dealers have stock, and you're obviously at mercy of the various prices. So some of the ideas to help you perhaps find some better deals, you could basically trawl through the websites of your favourite bullion dealers, look in the pre-owned section. One thing I did that got me started into buying gold, I found a local coin dealer, if you like, a bit of a bullion dealer, jewellery sort of scrap person, and what he would basically do is put me together like a little bundle of fractional gold at a very reasonable premium, because I was just regularly buying. So the best thing to do is get out, if you can meet people who are buying coins, maybe at coin shows, or maybe you've got shops that are nearby, go in, have a chat to them, see what they're up to. Some will not be interested, they just want to they'll get a sovereign in and they'll just scratch it, damage it to test it, acid test, and then they'll just send it to scrap. They're really not interested at all. So obviously if it's been scratch tested, you're probably not going to be too keen on buying one of those. But what you could do is, speak to them and just say, look, I'm interested in buying certain coins, I'm interested in buying this or that, and this is what I'm looking to pay, can you help? And you might be able to get yourself a couple of suppliers. So for me, I did a video a while back, which I sometimes link when people ask me the questions, and it's how I find the best deals. So it crosses over a lot, like when buying other things, like say property, for example. You're not necessarily going to find the best deal by just going on to your estate agent, looking in the window, and doing that, because a lot of the best deals don't actually make it to the market itself. They get snapped up before they're publicised onto the internet and things like that. So it's worth making good relationships with perhaps coin dealers or bullion dealers, and you're unlikely to do that with the bigger dealers perhaps, unless you are some serious buying power. But with the smaller dealers, they might be more open to things like that. So there are obviously advantages to using the second-hand market, and you're cutting out the sort of dealer fees, if you like, a little bit like buying vehicles. If you go to the showroom of your favourite manufacturer, then you could ask them, right, I want a new car, this one, and you can try negotiating from there. But if you're on the second-hand market, you might not have as much choice, but you might have something that fits your bill and something that you are happy with, and then you can perhaps get into a conversation there and go from there. So I think the main thing is to obviously make sure you're buying in reputable coins, but the main thing is to start talking to people, smaller dealers perhaps, maybe people you meet at the coin shows, and maybe other collectors. So perhaps you are trying to do a certain date run of sovereigns that I'm definitely not doing, and perhaps you meet some other people who are also doing the same kind of thing, and perhaps you can swap and trade between friends, between people and that could work too. So hope you found this video useful, and we'll talk to you in the comments.